Hey, welcome to the free masterclass, Finding Your Soul Calling. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get going. So who's in the Zoom today? I'm Jessica Joins. I am an author, I am a coach, and I'm an inspirational speaker. And what I care about is helping people live the highest potential for their lives. And this is inextricably linked to finding work that truly makes you happy, that you have a calling towards, that lights you up, stuff that you cannot wait to get up and go do. So that's what we're going to do today. And what you're going to learn in this next 25 minutes or so together are three things. You're going to learn what a soul calling truly is. You're going to learn what blocks it. And then I'm going to teach you 4 principles that you can start putting into action immediately to start stepping out of a career that doesn't serve you and into your true calling. So let's talk soul calling. Now, what it is the expression of your personal resonance. It is what you love. And it is about honoring what you truly want in life. And so let me just pause for a second and just ask you, and take a moment, even close your eyes if you want, and just think, what is it you really want? What would make you really happy? What do you love doing more than anything? What do you really want? This and these questions, within that lies big clues, information about what you're really meant to be doing, about what you signed up to do. And this is the journey. We forget we're totally comfortable and used to not honoring what we really want, not even listening to it or allowing us to acknowledge it or understanding it. And here's the thing, your heart is a really great communication channel. Your gut is a really good communication channel. And your heart is giving you the biggest clues about what your calling truly is. Because what you love is unique to you. And we're so used to discounting it. We write it off. We go, oh, I'll do that in my free time or for hobbies. What if it was the reverse? What if what you love is so unique to you, it's what you're supposed to spend your life doing? And this is the seed I want to plant with you, because for me, this is what I learned to be true. What you love is unique to you. And it is the expression of this that is your soul calling into the world. That is inextricably linked to the highest potential and possibility for your life. So sometimes it's easy to understand what a soul calling is through understanding what it isn't. So it is not a means to survive. It's not a paycheck. I don't believe your highest destiny is to wake up every day doing something you don't love or just lukewarm like. Just suffering through because you need this paycheck and you need this paycheck to survive. If you choose that, then that can be, what you experience in life, but there are higher options available for you. And when you can open up your mind and open up your consciousness and start to believe in a higher potential for your life, you can start to unfold it. It's also not just about what you're good at. Now, gifts are important, and we will talk about gifts later on, but your soul calling is not about just pursuing what you're good at. It is passion first, gifts second. Next, it's not just about success and achievement. It's not just about success and achievement. But here's the thing. What you love, what you have passion for, will always lead to a high path of earning, a high path of abundance. Always. But when you only focus on the money first, or just on climbing that corporate ladder, and forget the passion and what you love, you will maybe have a career, and a great career, but you won't have true fulfillment. And then finally, it's not just about something you sort of enjoy. When we're talking soul calling, when we're talking soul purpose, we're talking about something that lights you up. You can't imagine your life without it type of level. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about soul calling. There's an incredible quote, and this really gets at the heart of what it means to have a soul calling, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, your profession is not what brings home your weekly paycheck. Your profession is what you're put here on earth to do with such passion and such intensity that it becomes a spiritual calling. So this is what's possible for you if you choose it. This is possible for everyone, not just a select few. It is possible for you if you decide to claim it. And here's the thing, we all have a spiritual calling. What is spiritual? Spiritual is something that deepens the feeling of your connection to the universe or humanity. It's something that makes you feel alive, really present, alive and living life every day, makes you feel connected to others, to the world in some way. And a calling is a vocation, profession, or trade, a kind of call to summons, a strong impulse or inclination. So we all have this if we're willing to honor it and do the work to find it within. And I promise you that you have it too. And here's the other thing. You feel called to whatever it is, that thing that makes you feel more connected to the world, to others, makes you feel alive in ways that you've always wished for or imagined, but never truly felt, because embedded within it is also your new unique life lessons. You are meant to uncover and live a calling. It is how you become the best version of you. It's how you learn all the stuff that you're here to learn. It's how you grow personally. Okay. So to give you a final kind of like really good definition that I think can help you really wrap your head around this and really start to feel into if this is something you want for your life, because I tell you it is possible. Just know this: your soul purpose is the expression of your deepest heart calling, connected to who you wish to be and the reason you are here. And this is possible for you. It is possible for all of us. But we get trapped in cycles of just discounting ourselves, discrediting what we really want, not really trusting ourselves, not believing that things are possible for us, that the vast majority of us don't step into doing this kind of work. There's a poll that comes out by Gallup almost every year, I believe it comes out, and it measures employee engagement. And every year it shows that like 70 or probably higher % of the workforce are either actively disengaged or, somewhat disengaged at work, meaning they're not doing work that they love. They're not living their soul calling. But again, I tell you, if this is something that you want in your life, it is possible for you. So how do you discover your calling? How do you find it? That's the big question. And the answer is that you take a journey through fear. Fear, the kind of negative voice that's in your head, the one that has all those negative fear-based thoughts, oh, that's not possible, oh, blah, 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 throughout the day. The one that tells you if you ever had a real dream in your life of something you want to do, the one that said, oh, that's not possible. Your journey to finding your calling is choosing to not listen to that, going through that, acting in spite of the fear to realize your true potential in life, to reveal what's truly possible for you. It is 100% a journey of going through fear, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So let me tell you a little bit about my story first. So I ignored what I loved and what I really wanted to do for a really long time. I didn't think it was possible. I thought exploring the kind of dreams and the passions and the things that in my heart, especially when I got to college age, that was a waste of time. I thought life is something that you struggle through. It's something that you survive. And therefore, I better focus on what I'm really good at, how I can set myself up to make a lot of money, to do what I needed to do, achievement-wise, to survive this thing called life and be happy. I was too afraid to pursue what I really wanted. And it didn't even really enter my consciousness as something that I would do or a path of consideration. I was really focused on achieving. I really wanted to be successful, so I started, having ideas that a career in X, Y, or Z would bring me a lot of happiness tied innately to just being successful and good at it. I didn't really think about if it was something I really loved or that fascinated me in any way. I was completely living in this kind of mindset of survival consciousness. And happiness was this destination in the future. Once I got all this amount of stuff or achieved these milestones or got to the corporate ladder, I would be happy. But of course I wasn't. And I reached pretty much the top. I was a global CMO of a big company for quite a while. And I found myself living this corporate life that I didn't really want, that I wasn't finding happiness in. I was living in 24/7 kind of anxiety and worry as well. It was a really stressful career. And if I had loved it, that stress wouldn't have mattered. But it was really stressful waking up to kind of go do something I just felt lukewarm about, that I dreaded, that I didn't truly love at all. And so I was living in a self-induced state, again, of what I call survival consciousness. And I was breaking down mentally, emotionally, physically as a result. Working around the clock, doing something that doesn't fulfill you leads to all kinds of problems. And I had them. So the world was happening, something happening to me that I was trying to survive, and it wasn't working. And then I received a huge gift from the universe. I was laid off, and I decided to do something that was, out of the ordinary then, something that my heart was really calling me to do. And that was to go travel for a year. I was about 36 years old at the time, could travel for a year and to kind of start to figure out my life, because the life I had created was not bringing me joy, happiness, or fulfillment. And this ended up really being a journey of going deep within. And here are a few things that I learned on that journey. I learned that suffering for a paycheck was not my purpose. How could it be? Why would it be? And again, this was like a big revelation for me at the time. I thought, this is what you do. Work is work. We all find these jobs, we work, we save up enough money to retire and maybe travel one day, right? But I came to realize in this moment and during this journey that deciding what I was going to do every single day for my entire life was one of the most sacred decisions I was ever going to make. And that had to be more than just working and spending every day to earn a paycheck. I also realized that sitting back and continually settling for what life was offering was also not my purpose. I had not become a conscious creator of really getting clear on what I wanted and trying to make that happen in any way, shape, or form. This job offer would come up and I'd say, yeah. This job offer might come up and I'd say, sure. And you might relate to that too. You might be sitting in a job that you just kind of fell into, right? It sounded good at the time. It just kind of came up and was put in front of you. And so you said, yeah. You were kind of unconscious in the creation of it. Right? The other thing that I learned too is that we all have the opportunity to wake up excited about what we're doing each day if we choose it, but we have to choose it. And so think about wherever you are in your career. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you've been around for a long time like I was at the time. Are you choosing this? Are you doing the thing that you think can bring you the most happiness? Or are you waking up with kind of lukewarm happiness? Oh, it's fine. It's okay. Or are you dreading it? If you are not waking up truly excited to go and do what you're doing each day, there is a higher potential for you. And it is possible. No one is exempt from having a true soul calling or purpose, but you have to be willing to acknowledge it, believe in it, and take a chance to step into it. And so how did I find my calling? How did I step into it? How did I do this work? I'll say I took every single career assessment. I did every kind of formula or equation. I was going to figure this thing out. And what ended up really working was taking a very practical and principled approach to a lot of ancient wisdom on purpose that's been around for thousands of years. And when I started to apply that to my life, I was able to start to reveal my calling. And I was able to step out of a career that wasn't serving me, that wasn't giving me joy, and to create something that did. And so ultimately, for me, what I ended up doing was allowing it to be revealed. I ended up getting all my preconceived notions out of the way of how I think it should be, how I think it should go, what it should be. And I really allowed myself to get vulnerable and open about what I really wanted. And then I allowed the voice of fear in my head to start pushing itself out of the way. And I allowed this thing that I really wanted to start to come forward one step at a time. And so here are 4 principles that you can start employing right now to start honoring and living your soul calling. So the first one is your heart is your guide. Your heart is your guide. And I would say, it's your primary guide. This isn't a balance between heart and head. When it comes to soul calling, your heart is the primary driver. You're never going to think your way into your purpose. It is about listening and honoring what your heart really wants. And so when you do this, there's a few things that you do and a few things that you don't, things that you can start applying and doing right now. So to start allowing your heart to be the guide, you want to practice listening to your heart. You know, the voice of fear in our head is so loud, like it's what we mostly listen to. But there's another voice. It's a quieter voice. It's that quiet voice. Some call it a gut feeling, some call it intuition, but it's really that heart resonance of what you really want, and starting to listen to it and just getting curious about it and what it has to say. You can sit and get quiet with your heart and just say silently, what do I really want? And allow and see what comes forward. What do I love more than anything? Allow and see what comes forward. But essentially what you want to do to really start allowing your heart to be the guide is start becoming the curious detective about you, observing and noticing what you have resonance with. What excites you? What lights you up? What gives you joy? What you have passion for? Start getting curious about it. You don't need to do anything with it yet. Just start listening and getting curious about it and see what it has to say. And on the flip side, when you want to allow your heart to start to be the guide, what you don't want to do is start employing a skills-based search. This is a survival mode approach. This is a survival-based kind of approach to life. Oh, what am I good at? I've got to, I'm competing, right? So it's got to be something that I'm really good at and better than other people, and just going down that route. No, that will not lead to your true joy and happiness. So do not lead with just trying to get clear about what you're good at. You're good at many things. You only love a few. Next, you don't want to treat this as a problem to solve or figure out. This is your life. If you really want a soul calling, then you got to start listening to your soul, allowing your soul and your heart to lead the way. You're not going to get up here and have a diagram and map this in a way that, you have a magical formula that figures it out. Drop that idea right now. You also just don't want to settle for being either content or complacent. Again, if that's your choice, you can, but if you really want to do the most fulfilling work of your life, wake up excited each day and get paid to do it. And I'm not saying like paid a little bit, like get paid handsomely to do what you love. It is about not settling your happiness, to just be happy some days, for it to be okay, and kind of move through life in this lukewarm, complacent state. There's so much more that's possible for you. The next principle is to feel the fear and do it anyway. This is a really, really important principle, and it's at the crux of how you step into living your true soul calling. So as I said before, your soul calling is a journey through fear. It is one and the same, okay? And it really goes something like this. If you follow the fear, meaning you have the kind of negative or fear-based thoughts in your head that has opinions about what you should or shouldn't be doing with your life, okay? We all know it. The yogis call it the monkey mind, right? So if you listen to this voice and you take action based on what it's saying, you will step into a smaller potential for your life. It might be the life you're living right now. And I would say if you're not in total happiness with what you're doing, with your profession, your career, your job, what you get up and do every day for work, then you probably have been letting the fear-based voice within you in your head run the show. Okay? That leads to a smaller potential for your life. If you follow your heart, as we were just talking about, and listen to it, your life gets big. You uncover and reveal your soul calling. When you do, and it's doing this moment to moment at a time. Okay, and let me just kind of to hit this home for you, just tell you a little something about fear. Research has shown that we have between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, depending on how much a thinker you are. 80% of those are negative fear-based thoughts. And here's the kicker. Only about 10% ever come to fruition. So why would you listen to the voice of fear in your head? Why would you take actions based on what it's saying? It is not possible to step into your soul calling if you're completely aligned. And again, fear is any kind of negative thinking, any limiting thinking, anything that comes from a place of worry, doubt, and fear. That will not lead you to your soul calling. So you have to start ignoring that voice. There's a famous acronym for fear. It's called false evidence appearing real. Listening to it will not get you to your soul calling. So what do? What you do is you also get curious about your fear. Just like I said, starting to get curious, listening to your heart, what your heart has to say. Get curious about your fear. What thought patterns do you have on repeat? What are the repeating things about how you're limited and things aren't possible for you? How you're stuck in your current job, whatever it is, start getting curious about them, listening to them, and then question them. Question them. And here's the real kicker. Do not take action based on what that voice of fear, that negative naysayer is telling you to do. Do not take action based on what it's saying. Do not take action of where it's guiding you. Okay? And then on the don't believe in the negative fear-based thinking in your mind. Have a pause. Your goal is you're spiraling in some negative thinking of, I'm going to be stuck in this job forever, or I don't have passions. I don't have anything that I'm actually passionate about. Whatever the voice of negativity and fear is saying, don't believe in it. It's kind of the opposite of the one on the left. Instead, get curious about it. Is this true? Right? Do not believe it outright and then, spend an hour spiraling in it because you think it's true. And instead, what you don't is take actions based on where fear is guiding you. Okay? So hitting that home again, don't take actions based where fear is guiding you. Instead, what you want to do is take action in spite of the fear. Okay? That's what you want to do, is take action in spite of the fear. So take the action where the fear is not guiding you to go. Number 3, own your vision and speak about it. This is another really important tool for starting to really step and create your soul calling in your life and to really start allowing it to be revealed to you. And so with this one, it's about getting clear on what you really want and articulating that into a vision. Right? So you have the heart listening, you've been getting curious about it. You're starting to listen and get curious about what you want. You start to get some information. You then want to articulate it into a vision. This can just be something you write, narrative written paragraphs, some bullets. You don't need to make a big deal about it, but you want to answer a few questions. You want to say, what would make you really happy? What would that be? Whatever you think that is, or whatever you know to be true, whatever you best know to answer that question at this moment in time, write that down. What do you dream about doing? Answer that. How do you want to feel every day? Like what do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel, challenged? What is it? What type of people do you want around you? That's important too. What are the causes or values that you want to align your life to? And how do you want to show up in it? So you want to take all that and you want to articulate it into a vision. So what you want to do is you want to articulate what you know about what you want for your life as you best know it now. Just articulate it as you best know it now. And be as descriptive within that as possible. And then what you want to do when you have, and again, you don't have to have all the details filled in. You just want to acknowledge and articulate what you know to be true now. Then you want to start talking about it with people you trust. And from there, it takes on a life of its own. And you start to get more information. And you get able to refine the vision. And it becomes something bigger. And then you start to, one day, you'll have a really clear, very specific vision of what you want to do. And that is one of the first steps to making it a reality. So on the flip side, what you don't want to do is push yourself to articulate anything you don't know. If you don't know it yet, you don't know it. That's fine. You don't want to hold back things you think that aren't possible. So do not censor yourself in this process. And then you don't want to share with those that tend to judge you or that, just have a lot of negative opinions about everyone. That's not your thing. Okay? So finally, the 4th principle for really starting to find your calling, again, we have your heart, starting to get curious and listen to your heart, starting to take action in spite of what fear is telling you to do, starting to articulate the vision you best know and speak about it as much as you can to people who are trustworthy. And then the 4th principle is to forget the how and follow the path of resonance, follow the flow. So this is one of the most important lessons. You're not going to solve the how. Your job in this is to hold the vision as you best know it, populate the vision when you know more of it, but not figuring out all the details of how it's going to come into fruition. Yes, have a plan, absolutely, but don't be so attached to the plan that you don't allow the kind of magic to unfold of other people's help, the help of the universe, whatever it might be. When you're too attached to the outcome and how it has to happen, you block it from happening. This is a huge lesson, because the unfoldment in your soul purpose happens through you staying in alignment with resonance. Okay. So you get a vision, right? And then you start, taking little actions to manifesting it or creating it or bringing it into the world. Whether it might be finding that new job, it might be finding a business, whatever it is. But you trust your resonance, your intuition, the energy you feel around it, the excitement, the joy you feel around it, to be the indicator to let you know whether you're on the right track and path or not. If it's not feeling good, if something is feeling off, if you're feeling a heavy weight, if it's feeling like really, really overly hard and struggle, then you're out of alignment. So your job here is to stay in the resonance, holding the vision, not attached to the how. And as part of that, you're going to learn how to take inspired action over being too attached to your action plan. So along this way, you're talking about your vision to people. You might have a plan, and this is just the way the world works. People are going to have, someone's going to have this suggestion, and you're going to feel a lot of resonance around that same suggestion. Don't wait, take an inspired action anchored in that. Whatever kind of intuitive hits, nudges you're getting, kind of direct, kind of, even input from others, and it feels exciting to you, like, yeah, that would be an amazing action step to take to bring this into reality. Don't hesitate, take that action. That is about it, taking inspired action. And when you take inspired action moment to moment over time, all of a sudden, one day, you're just like, wow, I'm doing it. I'm living it. I've created that business, or I have this new job with this incredible company that I love. Okay. So our do's and don'ts for this one is take actions based on intuitive hits or nudges. Ask others for help and input. And when you hear something that just resonates with you, you're like, yes, that's a great idea. Don't wait, act, take inspired actions. And then trust it'll unfold when you stop forcing it and forcing it to happen in the way you think it needs to happen in a certain timing, whatever. Trust that once you've articulated a vision and you put it out there for enough people, it will unfold and it will happen and it will become a reality in the way that it's meant to. And then on your don't become too attached to your plans. Like, yes, have a plan. I will not say don't have an action plan or a master plan or a business plan if that's going to be appropriate for you. Have that, but don't get so fixated on it. Let the magic that's coming in, be a part of it, whether it's great suggestions from others or an intuitive hit you get yourself. Follow those moments of really high resonance where something unexpected happens when you're trying to bring this to a reality. And it wasn't something you're thinking of, but it feels like a great idea. That's where things really start to accelerate for you. That is the essence, the magic of what you really want to seek and explore and follow. That's really how this happens. And don't become too attached to having it happen in a certain way. It's never going to happen in the way you think it's supposed to. And then ignore feedback and input, from others that, don't ignore it. If it feels like something that, that isn't giving you a lot of resonance, you can. But if it's something that's coming through and you're getting the same message over and over, especially from multiple people, do not ignore that. That's really a clear message of a certain way to go about bringing your new kind of calling or career into fruition. So in closing, a couple things that I want to leave you with is to look for a calling, not a career. This is where your true happiness lies. Is part of this journey and a part of that heart listening and getting curious about your heart. Choose silence sometimes as much as you do action. And then I really encourage you to value your intuition as much as you do logic in the process. Don't ignore those moments where you get a moment of inspiration, a really clear sign that pulls you forward in a certain direction. Because you really want to start living from the inside out rather than the outside in. That's where it all lies. And so I want to recap for you what you learned today. You learned that a soul calling is about honoring the truth of your heart, Fear is the number one blocker from you realizing your calling. And then there's the 4 principles. There's many more, but these are 4 principles that you can get started with right away. And you can start employing now to start realizing a soul calling and a soul purpose in your life. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the 8-week course that is coming up called Find a Calling, Not a Career. It launches on November 5th, and it's limited to 33 people. And let me just tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing this time together. I'm going to personally guide you through this 8-week course to finding your soul calling, which again is your true passion and purpose in life that fulfills you, but is also lucrative. If you do this work, you are going to transform your life, your happiness. And during these 8 weeks together, we're going to do 3 things. You're going to identify 2 to 3 potential soul callings. You're going to remove the fear-based alignments and limiting beliefs that are blocking you from making a change. And 3, you're going to start taking concrete action to step into your soul calling. And why are you going to do this? You're going to do this so that you can stop suffering for a paycheck, instead choose to do what you love and getting paid to do it. Because look, what you choose to do with your life, it's a sacred choice. Don't settle it. Your soul calling, your true happiness, it is a destiny that is possible for you and waiting for you, but you have to choose it. You have to choose it, and you have to do the work towards making it happen. So I encourage you to sign up today. Again, we're limiting it to only 33 people. So the first 33 people who sign up will get to be a part of this amazing course. And I hope to see you there. And feel free to share this with your family and friends. I look forward to seeing you in November. Okay, bye for now.